What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Got some spicy Table 500 Lira Loose action for you guys to check out in this video. Only going to be facing off against meta decks, and you might be surprised. I kind of feel like right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! It is a great opportunity and a good time for, these Table 500 decks to potentially compete against the meta, because there are so many like ridiculously strong power cards like Phantasme, Pot of Extravagance cards like Evenly Matched that can be so good. And if you get them at the right times, you can actually hang with the meta. Obviously, Lira Loose is a deck that it generally wants to go second, mainly because its Exceed monsters can like attack directly, and it does a good amount of damage. It's not particularly strong at grinding, so why not run a card like Evenly Match? If you go against like Sky Striker or Thunder Dragons, you let them do their plays, it can be a potential blowout. And you guys see right here in first duel, it's against Salamangreats. Salamangreats open up with pretty much the entire combo. He's going to be able to get where he needs to go. I probably would dump a Foxy in the graveyard. What do you need like two Foxies for? Unfortunately, he drew another copy of Foxy, which not exactly the greatest draw, but it's actually fine because he gets an Ash Blossom. I always say that you want to get at least a couple of defensive cards for Salamangreats turn one. He has Roar, he has Ash Blossom, he has full combo. He should be able to get Salamangreat Circle, which I believe is already on the field. He set it with the copy of, what's the card? The Falco that hit the graveyard, and it looks like he's pretty much good. Like, if you're a Salamangreat player and you're playing this into Thunder Dragons or Sky Striker, you feel pretty good about your position. He has, what, 2, 4, 6, 10, so that's a just casual +5. +5 with a hand trap and, a Rhoda plus a defensive trap, so you feel pretty good. Now, Evenly Match is just going to go ahead and get rid of the Roar. I mean, that's pretty much all you can expect for Evenly Match in this matchup. Not particularly the greatest card against Salamangreats, because usually they're going to roar it, and a Salamangreat player will consider that a win generally, because like, I got a 1-for-1, I'll get roar next turn. However, he does have the secret weapon here, and you guys will see what it is. Now, Instant Fusion into Thousand Eyes Restrict is a great play against Salamangreats, because at worst it basically will take up their copy of like it'll bait out the roar, you know what I mean, because they have to kind of use it. Maybe he should have used this first and seen if his opponent would have just used Roar on the Thousand Eyes Restrict, and then he could have hit him with Evenly Match. I mean, he decided to go for it in this order. I feel like this was probably a small misplay, but it's fine. We'll see if it all works out. He's going to drop Gazelle, going to dump Fusion of Fire into the graveyard, and now he's going to activate Spell Mining Cave. Now, he did not use the Ash Blossom on Spellbook of Secrets, but now he actually cannot. Spell Mining Cave, such a stupidly powerful card coming out of Dark Neostorm. I cannot wait for this card to come out. So many decks will be unlocked, and he cannot use Ash Blossom or any monster effects because he has 3 monsters at the bottom, and his opponent has no monsters. He had Thousand Eyes Restrict, but as long as the Lira Loose player keeps less monsters on his field, the Salamangreat player cannot attack, can't use monster effects. Now, maybe he could have actually reincarnated. He could have reincarnated Sunlight Wolf into another Sunlight Wolf, and he could have gotten Roar from the graveyard. But outside of that, there's nothing else this guy can actually do. I think he just forgot about that. Honestly, I understand him being tilted when he sees this card, so it's like kind of expected. And now you're going to kind of see a pop-off here. King Kibuyo, he went from 0 monsters to 4 in the and seriously, like the blink of an eye. Now he's actually going to summon Saryuja Skuldred, which I don't associate with Lira Loose, but hey, what do I know? He's going to go Instant Fusion for Independent Nightingale. Activates Where Art Thou. I think he might actually have to take some damage here, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's like during the end phase. He is going to go ahead and he's going to summon his Cobalt Swallow, and he went ahead and he added the copy of Sapphire Swallow. Now, with Sapphire Swallow is special summon, it can actually special summon this card right here, the Turquoise. So he's able to get 4 monsters again on board. That is like 8 monsters summoned in 1 turn from freaking Lira Loose. He's going to combine that all to assemble Nightingale. Assemble Nightingale is going to activate its effect. Well, after gaining 300 attack, it's going to put another Exceed material, and get this, it's actually going to be able to do massive damage. 1 attack, 2 attacks, 3 attacks, 4 attacks. I think we see a 5th attack. Like, look how much damage this card is. This card is almost an OTK by itself. All he has to do at this point, simply attack Saryuja Skuldred into the Banelings, and that is a GG no re. Even if he didn't have Banelings on the field and this was still Jack Jaguar, he could have simply attacked into Sunlight Wolf or Jack Jaguar. It would have been the same exact amount of damage. So, Salamangreats catch that. And that's what I like about these Table 500 duels, man. Like, when do you guys ever expect expect to see a top 3 meta deck getting fucking bodied by Liraluz. Like, that's the type of content I aim to bring you guys. Anyway, second duel. This one's against Sky Striker. Once again, he's playing against arguably the best deck in the meta. I would say it's the best deck. Best deck in the meta has a great opening hand. If you are a Sky Striker player and this is your opening hand, I don't ever want to hear you complain at all about how you didn't open good. This is like done nuts to me. I mean, you have Area Zero, you have multi-roll, you have your Ray, and you have 2 hand traps. Like, what more do you honestly want? He could have now, I think maybe... You don't know what you're playing against. If your opponent just normal summons like Blue Boy, I probably would have used Effect Veiler. That's just me personally, but he does not. He waits for him to go for Spellbook of Knowledge for the Ash. The problem is now he's countered by this hand trap. And if the Veiler would have gotten countered, he would have still had the Ash Blossom to stop the Spellbook of Knowledge. So, I mean, you live and learn. He's going to get he's going to get called by the grave here, which means he gets to draw a couple of cards. But again, it's still Sky Striker facing off against like fucking Liraluz. Sky Striker should easily win. He does get value out of his Effect Veiler, uses it on Piper, and basically that's kind of it. I probably would not have set evenly matched because you only have 1 monster on field. If the monster gets taken out, you can just evenly match from the hand. I see no point of really setting it, but it's fine. He's going to go for Hayate. He missed on the Area Zero, so that was unfortunate. He is going to attack, drop Widow Anchor in the graveyard. I think he just had a brain fart here because usually, correct me if I'm wrong, you would go for Kagari and then go for Shizuku, and you would add the Widow Anchor for free. But yeah, I guess he just had a brain fart and he just forgot about that. Anyways, he didn't set multi-roll either, so just a little bit weird. I don't know why he's just like not playing his cards right, but hey man, maybe Sky Striker is a little maybe it's difficult. Boros Ward hits the field. Once I saw that, I was like, uh-oh, is he trying to go for the OTK? I thought that maybe he would try to go for Thousand Eyes Restrict here and suck up the copy of Shizuku, because I was like, dude, I think maybe he has game if he does that, but he's not going to go for that. Instead, he is going to go for a simple Nightingale, trying to go back to the well, do some damage. He is going to get some good damage here. The problem is, obviously, Ray from the graveyard, that's going to block some of the damage. He's going to go for Kinda to make sure that he cannot attack twice with Boros Sword. Yeah, I feel like the instant fusion play and the Thousand Eyes Restrict may have been actually the better one. Now the Sky Striker player is like, damn, dude, I trolled last turn. I'm going to make sure that I don't do it again. I believe that he is going to actually like start playing smart. He probably is looking for not just a Widow Anchor, but maybe a copy of Afterburner so that he can easily get rid of the Boros War Dragon and potentially pop that face down as well. He does not go for Kagari again. Interesting. This guy really does not use Kagari. I mean, he got the Afterburner, but he just straight up doesn't play Kagari for some reason. Maybe he doesn't run Kagari. I don't know. Anyways, he's going to make it so Boros Ward can attack twice. He is going to get the first attack. Eagle Booster is going to protect it from battle. This is something, by the way, that I learned myself at an event. If your opponent uses Boros Ward and then you chain Effect Veiler, it doesn't matter. Boros Ward still actually gets to attack twice, so it is kind of unfortunate in that sense. But he's still perfectly fine. Having two copies of Sky Striker Ace Ray, maybe not the greatest thing, but he's still in this duel. He still has a heavy advantage. Now the thing is, Spell Mining Cave is not good in this matchup because Sky Striker's never summoned more than like 1 monster anyways. This time he is finally going to go for Kagari, and he is going to attack, get that Shark Cannon in the graveyard. He's going to go ahead and I think he's going to start adding some cards from multi-roll. Yeah, looks like he just may have added the Shark Cannon, which it's a fine card. He should be able to activate it. And I think now is when he's going to try to go for a big play. He's going for Widow Anchor, probably going to take the Assembled Nightingale. Assembled Nightingale's protection effect is really not going to be, it's not going to matter at this point. Going to go for Unicorn, get rid of the face down, go for Shark Cannon, take his opponent's Boros Sword. When I saw that, I was like, uh-oh, he might actually just kill you, but man, he's got the Boros Sword Dragon. You gave it to him, or at least you put it on the field initially, but he's not going to be able to quite kill him if I'm not mistaken. He's going to do just enough. Oh no, he can't do any battle damage. That's right. That's so sad. Couldn't do any battle damage, and all he has is Topologic, the Topologic Bomber Dragon. Now he obviously is fine next turn. He can just, you know, he can activate Mobilize Engage. He can get a Surge and a Draw because he probably has at least 5 or 6 spells in his graveyard at this point, but he's not going to get a next turn potentially. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to go for King Kabuyu. He's going to bring back the Cobalt Sparrow. That's going to Surge. Now he's going to go for the Recite Starling, and all he's going to do is attack into the Bomber Dragon. Now he does actually take 3,000 damage, but the thing is, your opponent takes the damage too, so he actually ends up losing that duel, and that just goes goes to show you, when you give these table 500 decks these super powerful cards like Evenly Match and Spellbinding Cave, they can sometimes hang with the meta. So let's pause for one quick second and see what the deck looks like. Alright, so this is what the deck looks like on paper. As you guys can see, this is pretty much a blind going second build of Lyrilusc. I don't really think that you want to go first with Lyrilusc because there's nothing really that this deck does that would actually like stop the opponent or anything like that. So I feel like you should just honestly be going second. I love the inclusion of Instant Fusion. I feel like it's an awesome go second card. It gives you that Thousand Eyes Restrict. Thousand Eyes Restrict can not only just suck up one of your opponent's monsters, but then in addition to that, it's a level 1 that you can use to just make your Lyrilusc monsters. So it, like, you have dual utility, and it just kind of like makes sense in this deck. I feel like if you're not going to use your normal summon on your Lyrilusc monsters or on Kinkabouillou, I feel like the the Prophecy engine is just like a good engine to get you into your other cards. Since it is a go second deck, you're obviously running like Evenly Matched, because if you don't have like the most optimal opening, there is obviously the chance of just blowing your opponent out with this. And then obviously the super spice is the Spellbinding Cave. You saw in the duels multiple times. Basically, the reason that you run this is because you are going to be summoning a ton of monsters, but you always consolidate your monsters into things like, your Lyrilusc Exceed monsters, which all of them can be used with multiple level 1 monsters. So you can have like 4 monsters on the field, but you're going to consolidate those into one of your Lyrilusc Exceeds or into Boral Sword or into Saryuja Skuldread. So the second that you do that, like, your opponent cannot use monster effects as you're drawing cards and activating cards. Like, your opponent can't hand trap you if you have Spellbinding Cave. So this is like an awesome go second card, because you saw in the duel, if you can bait out your opponent's like roar against Salamangreats, you activate this card, and then basically they're just kind of like stuck. They can't use monster effects, and your goal is just to try to kill them in one turn at that point. So it's a pretty cool and fun deck.